Have you ever heard of a rapper who blew up just by freestyling in a car? That's exactly how 1900Rugrat went from being an unknown teen in Florida to one of the most talked about underground names in hip-hop right now. His rise was fast, raw, and straight from the streets. Today, let's dive into the story of 1900Rugrat, his early life, how he started rapping, and why the internet can't get enough of him. 1900Rugrat, real name Miles Spiel, was born in 2003 and raised in Limestone Creek, a small neighborhood in Jupiter, Florida. His life started off uniquely. He was adopted just 2 weeks after being born. He has never met his biological parents and says he's not really interested in doing so. Growing up, he lived what he calls a normal life, but admits he was far from a model student. He got into fights, skipped classes, and caused trouble. He often says he was the bad kid and proudly carries that energy into his music. At the age of 6, Rugrat met Rick, now known as Rick from 1900. The two grew up like brothers, and Rick would later become a big part of Rugrat's musical journey. Together, they represent the 1900 Collective, named after their block. It's not a gang, as Rugrat has explained, but more like a brotherhood, a tight-knit group that moves as one. That name, 1900, is now tied to everything he does. Interestingly, music wasn't always the plan for Rugrat. In fact, he started rapping just messing around with friends. He would freestyle for fun in the car or when chilling with his crew. But something about his voice, his wild energy, and his unpredictable flows made people pay attention. In early 2023, a clip of him freestyling in the backseat of a car blew up on TikTok. The internet immediately reacted to his distinct voice, raspy, high-pitched, almost cartoonish, and his unfiltered bars. People started sharing the video, using his audio in memes and TikToks and asking, "Who is this?" That one video changed everything. From there, 1900Rugrat started dropping official songs on SoundCloud and YouTube. Tracks like Headphones, 3X, Pain Song, and 1900 Baby started gaining thousands of plays. His music wasn't polished, and that was the point. He sounded raw, emotional, aggressive, and completely different from what anyone else was doing. One of the most unique things about Rugrat is that he doesn't write his lyrics. Everything is freestyle, straight from his head in the moment. He steps into the booth, hears a beat, and just goes off. That chaotic, unpredictable style is what makes his music exciting. You never know what you're going to get. Sometimes it's rage, sometimes it's pain, and sometimes it's just pure, wild energy. It didn't take long for major labels to notice. Within months of going viral, Rugrat signed to 300 Entertainment, a label known for working with artists like Young Thug, Gunna, and Megan Thee Stallion. He also joined 100K Management, the same team behind YNW Melly. For a kid who only recently started recording seriously, this was a massive leap. But even with the industry knocking, Rugrat has stayed true to himself. He still records with his boys, still smokes during sessions, and still brings that same raw, freestyle vibe to every track. His music videos often show him in his natural environment, surrounded by friends, energy, and chaos. He's been compared to Playboy Carti, Yate, and Lil Uzi Vert, especially because of his high-pitched voice and aggressive delivery. But the truth is, he doesn't really sound like anyone else. His voice is polarizing. Some love it, others hate it. But no one can ignore it. That's what's made him stand out. 1900Rugrat doesn't try to fit into the industry. He doesn't do interviews. He doesn't explain his songs. He just shows up and raps. And in today's era of over-polished music and social media personas, his authenticity is refreshing. Some quick facts. He's never written a verse, all freestyles. He dropped out of school early and doesn't hide the fact he hated it. He says he doesn't even listen to much music except for underground artists he respects. And despite the fame, he still lives and moves with the same people he grew up with in Limestone Creek. Today, 1900Rugrat has millions of views across platforms, a growing cult fan base, and cosigns from big names in the game. But what really makes him special is the fact that he's not trying to be anyone but himself. He's loud, unpredictable, emotional, and raw. All the things that mainstream rap usually tries to polish out. So what's next for Rugrat? No one really knows, and that's what makes it exciting. He might drop another viral track tomorrow, or he might disappear for weeks. That unpredictability is part of his brand. One thing's for sure, the name 1900Rugrat is here to stay.